Hello Internet and welcome to Xbox Week. Now we had PlayStation Week last week and that launch went somewhat successfully, but now the important one, Xbox One launch week. I'm joined by people, got Blaze and Dadge, so you're welcomes.
Hello.
Welcomes, good. I say the important one. I feel like I am still on the Xbox side of things. How about you two?
No, I'm PlayStation. I'm on the fence.
Really?
I'm staying on the fence until
even after the awesome headset you get with the PlayStation.
Still on the fence.
Well,
I'm sure they will release a better headset than that. Whatever. Okay, so Xbox Week. We're talking about the Xbox 360 right now and the highs and lows of its 10 years. Same thing we did with the PlayStation 3 last week. So yeah, 360.
yeah.
You all have one, right?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the 360 was first unveiled at E3 2005, and that was May 12th, something like that. And it was released in November 22nd that year, which was completely different from what we were saying before with the PlayStation, where you had to wait a whole year for that console to come out. But Adam, you told me about an interesting fact about the production of the Xbox 360.
The production for the Xbox 360 only began 69 days before the actual launch. And because of that, there wasn't enough consoles to meet the demand in Europe and North America.
Which, that's really bad. I mean,
Yeah.
when you told me, I span it in a way to make it sound good, meaning that there wouldn't need to be like a day one update like we're having with the current gen when they're coming out, because they were made so far in the past that the operating systems don't have the right things on them for things people want on day one, so there's a day one update. So sure, it didn't have an update, but if you can't meet the demand, you're going to look terrible.
Yeah. And they failed to in Europe and North America.
Now,
So they sold out, but not in a good way.
When the Xbox was in development, it had a load of names that some of them were just names the internet were calling it, and everyone else, and then there were sort of like project names. There was. Do any of you know the names that it was known as?
I know one of them was Xbox Next, and one of them was Xbox Next without a space, or Nextbox.
Yeah, Nextbox. It was Xbox Next, Xenon, Xbox 2, Xbox FS, whatever that stands for, and Nextbox. So, same sort of things that we had with the One coming out, all these different names that people thought it could be. But yeah.
I'm surprised based on their previous naming conventions that it wasn't called Xbox 2. And this one's still called Xbox One.
Well, no, it would have been Xbox 17, just to keep going with the whole, it doesn't make any sense with our naming conventions.
Xbox something, I can't remember.
I feel like Nextbox would have been quite good. It is the next.
Yeah.
But then it would have been what box after that?
the next box. They do the Apple naming convention. You got the next box, yeah, which is completely different to Nextbox.
Totally.
Okay.
Did you know that as of March this year? September this year. September this year. It sold 79.4 million units.
Yeah, that's worldwide.
Worldwide, yeah.
In the States, it was 25.4. That was March, 2 years ago.
That's where I got confused.
Yeah, and the one that I find is quite confusing here is you've got the Europe, Middle East, and Africa results, which includes the UK. But then we've also got just singular UK results as well. So I didn't really get that. But in the UK, this year, on Valentine's Day, the record was 8 million. Exactly 8 million.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty good.
There are citations as well on this as well. But yeah, so it's sold a lot.
That's both... For both the US and for the UK, that's exactly 1/10 of the population at the time.
Look at Dadge with his facts.
Slightly less than 1/10.
So that does put it that the PS3 has outsold the Xbox 360, and we spoke about this last week of the reasons why. Because both Microsoft and Sony are trying to up people buying their what are now not the current gen consoles by giving away things like with Xbox we've got Games for Gold, which has been an all right thing going on. Have you downloaded many of the games in Games for Gold?
I have. You just reminded me that I need to do that.
Yes, the current one is iron something. Basically, it's trench warfare, but the trenches are mobile. You're a guy in a singular trench for one person, and it's got legs, and it's a big robot, and it shoots loads of weapons.
I
was playing it last night. It's quite fun.
There have been some good games. It seems to be sort of an average of one good game a month, and the other one is...
I don't know. The way I don't think Microsoft are doing it the right way, whereas Sony sort of were. They were giving out some good games with their PlayStation Plus sort of thing. But with the Games for Gold, they seem to be giving out games that were really good back in the day. This is when they start giving out sort of retail titles. It was good games, but they've made their money on them, so they don't care if they give them away for free. Like, everyone who has an Xbox will have Halo 3, so giving that away didn't make any difference. Giving away
Halo 3.
I don't have Halo 3.
Yeah, well, everyone who cares, everyone who really matters.
I might have had Halo 3 actually. I don't know.
I have Halo 3 now.
I'm saying Halo is one of the big franchises, if not the big franchise on Xbox.
It's a flagship, isn't it?
Yeah, which is why I did think it was a launch title, but it wasn't. We'll go to launch titles in a bit. But yeah, so and then same with Assassin's Creed 2. They've made their money on that. They don't need to make any more, so they give away that. So it's good for people who maybe joined Xbox late and so didn't. Yeah, and didn't. Yeah,
or people who weren't sure about those games when they first came out. Like me, I've never really been a Halo fan, but I've got Halo 3 now. I can play that, and I might be converted.
You should. Halo is a good game. Some of my top 10. Not Halo 3, but Halo 4 is.
Spoilers.
Depends when this comes out, when my video comes out. I don't know, I haven't figured that out yet. Anyway, it was games, and then the other Games with Gold ones they've released have been crappy little arcade ones. Like Magic the Gathering, don't really care. I got it, but I don't really care.
I missed out on that one.
Another one is World of Kefling. You play as your avatar in a world with small people, which is what Keflings are, and it's sort of Minecraft meets SimCity. You've got to create a village for these people, and you can tell them to go and build stuff. So, yeah, you build like a workshop, and you can build little individual items within that, and if you arrange the items in a certain format, like sort of the Matrix in Minecraft, it creates this new item. But you can say, oh, you go chop wood, and he'll go chop wood. So in that way, it's sort of Age of Empires as well, and they'll keep doing that. Or one of them will transport wood back to your home place, and it was interesting. But it's just a crappy little arcade game, and I feel like they could have given away bigger and better things.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
It's a bit of a shame. It's an okay incentive, but it's not been executed as well as it could have been.
No, it hasn't given people being like, I'm going to buy a 360 because they're giving away these games for free.
No.
Well, I don't think that's entirely the point. When I heard about Xbox Gold giveaway thing, and the games like there was Dead Rising, one of the Dead Rising games, Halo, and Assassin's Creed. All three of those franchises will have games on the next gen consoles.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's more like to get people who weren't in those who weren't playing those franchises into those franchises. So then they go ahead and buy the games in the next gen.
Yeah, no, you make a good point there. Yeah.
Also might be to get resubscriptions to Xbox Live.
Mm.
Some people might have let them dwindle and thought, oh, well, I might also get them. I can get a few games for it.
One that I will say I was happy with was Fable 3 being on there. Because, as you say, with the next gen, Fable 4 is been announced. And I had Fable 2, it was a good game, and I'm playing through Fable 3 at the moment, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I do like the Fable franchise.
Yeah,
okay.
If we're moving on to games now, I guess.
I was just say games, yeah. Moving on to the lack of good games. The launch titles.
Yeah, I was going to say before the launch.
Yeah, there were...
This is a low point for Xbox 360, but it did get better. And... I mean, when the Xbox came out, it didn't really have much competition. The people could have still been with the PlayStation, but they would have wanted the upgradedness from the X. Did you own an Xbox? The original? Either of you?
Yes.
Now, from hardware, graphically, stuff like that, from the jump, was it a major difference? Because I know that PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 was. Sorry, PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3 was such a big jump.
See, I don't really know.
You don't remember?
Well, yeah, kind of. I didn't really notice how bad the graphics were. Like when you see like Lara Croft with her pointy tits,
triangular
games, and then you think back and you think, I don't remember thinking the graphics were shit.
No, they were awesome at the time, weren't they?
Yeah, that's the weird thing about it.
Yeah.
It's only when you're playing through these games again you're like, wow, it's
like,
actually quite bad.
It's like when we were doing all of the throwbacks for Grand Theft Auto. You know, I remember Grand Theft Auto being quite good, but then when we were looking at 3 and Vice City, I was like, graphically, what the hell? It's like even
see where it's at now.
Even with the evolution of when I was doing Grand Theft Auto 4, I was like, I remember this being really good, but it just looks dated now that I've played number 5.
It's crazy how well it's advanced.
Okay,
according to Wikipedia, Xbox 360 launch titles, there were 18 in the US and Canada, 15 in Europe, and there was only 7 in Japan. So overall, there were 20. Which
I learnt last week why Japan doesn't get such a good Xbox reception, and it's quite obvious, and I can't believe I didn't figure it out. It was said in last week's video, the fact that Japan is completely Sony, really.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay. I thought you were aware of that.
No. Once I was told it, I was like, yeah, that's obvious. Stupid me, but yeah. So, any of these games, do you have them?
I have Perfect Dark Zero.
Perfect Dark Zero is the only one I've got. So, Amped 3, what's that? Anyone know? No?
Amped 3, it was a snowboarding game.
Okay. Call of Duty 2. This was back when I didn't like the Call of Duty franchise because I didn't like the historical shooters. I liked the modern stuff.
Call of Duty 2 is actually the only launch title to sell over 1 million copies.
Huh.
There's actually only 6 games that were released in the first year of the Xbox 360's tenure that sold over 1 million copies.
Cool.
So I mean
Call of Duty was a big one.
Yeah.
I heard Condemned was an alright game, or was that Condemned 2? I know that one of the Condemned games people did like it was proper scary and freaky.
Criminal Origins, I don't know if that was such a great game.
Every Party, which was only released in Japan, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
FIFA 06, FIFA's always going to do well. Even though, you know...
Gun,
I don't know. Cameo.
Gun was a shooting game.
Was Gun not a Western?
Yeah, it was. It had a yellow box on it.
Yeah.
So then you've got the sports games as well. Let's not forget those. So Madden, NBA, 2 NBA games like you get this year with the Xbox One, and NHL.
Sport.
And then Need for Speed Most Wanted, which was a
sports game. Yeah.
I actually had that on the generation previous.
Yeah, I think I did, or on a different generation.
Okay, and then we got Perfect Dark, Peter Jackson's King Kong, Project Gotham Racing, where you drive around Gotham City.
No, that's not what.
Quake 4, one of the last Quake games.
Ridge Racer. I remember playing Ridge Racer 1 on the PlayStation. That was an awesome game.
Yeah.
Oh, Tetris only released in them.
So I was trying to work out how you could have a number 6 of a game in such a short amount of time, but for Ridge Racer 6,
yeah,
it doesn't seem like that would be possible.
Of course it would.
I suppose there are 27 Marios by that point. So
yeah. And come on, you got Madden 06. That's at least the 6th Madden game.
You know, Ridge Racer started in '93, right?
yeah, I figured it would start really early.
Yeah.
We got Tiger Woods, PGA, golf,
sports game,
and then Tony Hawk's.
The worst Tony Hawk's games ever.
Sports game. So I own only one of those. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And what to take away from this is that all the games there were generally shit. All launch titles are there to prove that what the hardware can do at that particular time. They just push the hardware to the limit with the current sort of technology that you have as a developer.
I'm still laughing at that phrase of yours. The thing to take away from this is that all of the games were shit.
Well, you know. No, because my point is, no matter what game's there is a better iteration or many better iterations later on in sequels and whatnot as we progress through the Xbox 360, and that's going to happen on any console. So people shouldn't be getting too hung up on what next gen games are coming out with the consoles this year, because it doesn't really matter. We'll look back at them in 7 years and say they're all shit as well.
Your Xboxes, do you own like an arcade, a Pro, an Elite, the S? What do you own?
I don't know, Adam, what do I own?
You own the original.
Yeah, I thought it was
one of the originals before they actually came. No. They were just Xbox 360s. It was before they came with an actual
It doesn't have
Hard
HDMI.
drive.
No, before it came with an actual HDMI lead, yeah, it doesn't have HDMI, but it didn't even come with a HD component lead.
Doesn't have anywhere to put it in the back.
You have a SCART one.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. That's what I was saying when I was playing through Black Flag for Binary Court. When Adam came up here to record that with me, that's the day I went from non-HD to HD, like 2 weeks before the next gen consoles come out.
All right.
And that was just for a component cable.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, obviously I've got the Xbox 360 Elite, which I got simply because my Xbox suffered
I was going to say,
an issue.
how many Xboxes have you owned? Because I think everyone has been affected by red rings at some point.
I've owned two.
I think it's my third.
Yeah. Well,
It's my second.
I've had to send it back twice. My first one I sent back once and it came back and I was like fine with it. Then it went again about a week before the release of Devil May Cry 4. So I sent it away and I wasn't going to wait for that to come back before I could play Devil May Cry 4, so I went and bought an Xbox 360 Elite.
And was it worth it?
I got to play Devil May Cry 4, yes, it was worth it.
Oh no, I've heard lots of people bitch about Devil May Cry 4.
How much did you guys pay for your Xbox? Do you remember? Did you get it released or did you get it afterwards?
Oh god, no, I got mine much later. I think 2007 I got mine, so it's about 2 years later.
I got mine...
Wait, it's a way to figure it out. My tenure on Xbox Live is 4 years... So 5 years. So I got mine 5 years ago, which is... 2008, yeah.
Wow. I think I got mine around 2008 as well.
I feel like you got yours much earlier than that.
I don't think I did.
I got mine in 2006, but I won it in a raffle. And you already had yours, Adam.
That's brilliant. Raffle.
I got it Christmas 2006.
I could have... Yes, that makes sense. I was thinking I didn't get my Elite until late 2007. No, I would have got mine early 2006. Yeah, you are correct.
So,
but I don't think I've had Xbox Live the entire time.
Can't really complain about how much I paid for it, because how many times I've had to send it off because I paid nothing for it.
Lucky.
See, me and Adam have always had this long-running argument about what happens when we send an Xbox back, because I am absolutely convinced that they just, most of the time, they would just replace it, because the hardware means nothing to them. It cost them $1 billion to make that piece of hardware, not that individual one. I mean, a piece of hardware. So they basically make nothing on that. They make all of their money from licensing games. So just to keep you buying games, even if they have to replace yours for free, they will. So then you continue to buy games with them.
That's not always true about them giving you brand new ones, because I remember hearing a story about someone who had their console signed by every member of Bungie, and when they sent it off, it got cleaned, not replaced. It got cleaned, and right, because there were certain parts of it that still had signatures on. So I think it was their faceplate got cleaned, and so they lost all them signatures, made a massive deal about it, and Bungie sent them a new one.
Nice.
Or Bungie sent them something with all of their signatures on it, or something like that.
I think the faceplate's easy enough to remove and replace anyway, so it might just be that was replaced.
But why replace it? Then also why clean it? You know, it didn't make much sense when I heard about it, but it did happen. So.
I think it's more of a case they take the faceplate off because they removed the CD drive and they removed the motherboard. So you have to take the faceplate off to remove the CD drive. So it could well be that they took the faceplate off and just binned it.
Put a new one on, yeah.
In case there's problems, because I've noticed that with the faceplate, sometimes they can catch the CD drive. So, at least on my older Xbox.
On your Xboxes that you had to get rid of, was it because of red rings?
Yes.
How many red rings?
3.
Because we're talking about the problems, the different rings, the different amount of rings. I say rings, it's only one ring, but it's the amount of lights that come up.
Only one of them is the red ring of death.
3, which is just sort of stupid. You'd think the 4 would be the red ring of death, because 4 just meant you didn't have your AV cable plugged in correctly. Which is one that I had, and I was all proper freaking out about it, but it just meant I didn't plug it all back together correctly.
Silly Spyro.
So I was there freaking out. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? And I had people saying to me, they were like, oh, what you do is you wrap a towel around it and make it have a proper hardware failure, and then they'll give you a new one. I was like, all right. Or I could just try putting in all the cables again. For some reason, I did that, turning it off and on again, rewiring it, and it worked.
But in fairness to Microsoft, they did handle that pretty well, eventually. At first, I don't think they were too great with it, and then eventually they were like, okay, fine, here's what we'll do. If you have this issue, we'll replace it, or we'll fix it for free.
Yeah.
And before that, it was like you'd send it off for 80 quid. But no, I mean, both of mine were fixed for free.
Okay, that's cool.
So I'm looking at this Wikipedia page, and in Colombia, I don't know what their Colombian pesos, it cost 1.2 million pesos. That's outrageous.
No, we made this thing last week. We were talking about the price of the PS4, and I was like, it's 38,000 yen. And Alright. Kinect. Do either of you own a Kinect? Because I don't.
No.
No.
The Connect.
It seemed at the end
Connect.
At the end of the tenure, it seemed a bit like a frivolous add-on that you didn't really need.
Yeah.
It's got no real use.
He's got a dictionary out, Adam does. It's his word a day calendar. That's today's one. Frivolous. He'll use it
today's
twice.
word.
What's today's word? So
Magnanimous.
I've only used. Shut up. I've only used a Kinect once, and that was at Tony's. I've never had the need to buy it. I wouldn't play any of the Kinect games, but I liked the idea of not having to use a controller. Laziness. I like that. And the voice sort of recognition and things like that. I thought it was a nice idea. I'd never buy one just to use it, but I thought that it was a nice progression.
I don't know. I think
everything's voice activated these days,
Yeah, I mean, in terms of technology, it was progressive, but in terms of the platform itself, it was non-progressive. It's probably regressive a bit as well, because it clearly pandered to, well, it didn't pander, but it clearly tried to encircle Nintendo, potential Nintendo customers to buy an Xbox instead of a Nintendo.
Yeah, it was aimed at casual gamers.
It was, yeah, and if you look at the games for it, most of the games specific to the Kinect look like those shitty little Wii character games that you get on the Nintendo Wii.
Animals, Connectables, or something like that.
Connectables.
No, seriously, you've got to connect them all. Yeah, but I don't know. It was announced in it was 2009 that was announced.
Yeah, it's been out for a while. Project
Natal, yeah, I remember all that. God, that was a long time ago. When it first came out, I actually thought it was a brilliant idea, because when there was this they were showing a game, I can't remember what it was called, but they showed the psychology behind this game, about how the character in the game would react to your facial expressions and the sort of the tense in your voice. But no, nothing like that ever came out. I don't remember this game, where it was about how the guy in the game was asking you for a bit of paper, and they showed a person playing the game, and she actually lifted her arms up to give the bit of paper to the child, and then when the child handed her some binoculars, she reached up to grab them, as if you were talking to a real person. I was like, yeah, but that's what the game's asking you to do. That's like pressing A. Is it not? It's like you've got to press A to get the bit of paper off them, so you're going to press A. It's a quick time event, but just with your hand.
No, I can't. No.
What, you're not a fan of the Kinect?
No, I'm really not.
One thing I liked was, and pretty soon after the Kinect was released and people got their hands on it, they started picking it apart and making it do whatever they wanted. I saw someone set up a screen and actually had like a Minority Report style screen set up with the Kinect. Using the Kinect, they could use all these hand functions to move stuff, and it looked exactly like something out of Minority Report.
There was
that's what I'm saying. They could have implemented the Kinect and then marketed it towards their high-end gamers, people who are more tech savvy usually, but they didn't.
They did in the end.
That's why it's stupid.
I've seen videos of someone making a sort of Guitar Hero-like interface, but without the guitar. And it was to do with the placement of using the Kinect. They broke it apart and basically hacked it, and they were using a coding language called processing, which is one I learned years ago. It's quite a good language, but just because holding your hands in the position that you would hold a guitar, and then they showed you sort of the overlay on what you see on the screen, and it's got this guitar following your hands and you moving up and down, pressing different strings on the frets, and it was quite a brilliant thing that you could do with it, but no game ever came out with this technology.
It's a shame. They did release the dev kit for the Kinect,
Yes, they
though,
did. Yeah.
so that people could legally make stuff like that Minority Report software. So yeah, that was a good plus, and that was aimed at sort of maybe the ultra hardcore.
Maybe the Kinect is actually then what we should is start again.
Use your words.
Perhaps the Kinect should be thanked, and then the subsequent dev kit release of it for the future technology on the Xbox One that we'll probably talk about next time around.
Yeah,
where it'll be used as a dev kit eventually.
It's weird. I feel like we've been very negative towards the Xbox. Yet we've got so much out of it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the best current gen console easily. Could you call it current gen or is it last gen?
Well,
It's now officially last gen because we have a next gen console available.
Yeah, 8th gen is imminently out, so I don't think we can count 7 as current. It's
last gen.
I mean, even by the naming convention, it's stupid because next gen is your current gen. That makes no sense.
Yeah, this is confusing.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say too much more negative about it, but I don't just want to just delve into those more positive. I think we've covered quite a lot here about the Xbox. Is there anything else you want to add before we close this down?
Fantastic machine.
Yeah, I was going to say, does anyone want to know what the 5 other games that sold over 1 million copies in the first year were? So I've got those here now.
Let's just take a guess at this. Is it Madden NFL 06?
No.
Need for Speed Most Wanted?
No, there was no
Is it
sports games.
Is it any of the launch titles?
None of the... I've already said it
No,
was...
he said there's only one
Okay.
launch title.
I thought you
and
said
in
there
the
were...
first year. There's
Right,
only 6.
okay. Halo 3.
No.
Bioshock 2.
However, Halo 3 sold 8 million copies. That was 2007, it sold 8 million copies.
Huh, okay.
Shit.
Bioshock 2.
No. I'm just going to go ahead and tell
Yeah,
you.
just
Go ahead and tell us. Crying out loud.
Gears of War became the
God.
best-selling game on the console in 2006. Halo
Complaining.
3 beat that. Ghost Recon, Advanced Warfighter.
Complaining.
Dead or Alive 4.
Mm-hmm.
Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion.
Cool.
And Saints Row,
Number 1.
number 1.
Bro, that was that early into the
I
console.
don't
That was
I don't
early.
own that game. I have 2. I downloaded because I've got 2 on Steam. I installed that last night. Planned to play it, but I don't have number 1. Number 1 was good.
Number 1 was good. It sold a lot.
Okay.
And yeah, it
Yeah,
was a
I think-
game.
I think it should end on saying that, despite the fact that we seem to be quite negative about it,
It
the
was
Xbox
awesome.
360
And it's
was
our
an
preferred
amazing
console.
I bought it over the PS3, so I preferred it. Yeah.
It was our preferred console. I thought it was awesome.
Even though I've always been a PlayStation person, I had the 1, the 2, and then I didn't have the Xbox original. I can't really call it the Xbox One.
Same as
Positive
me.
for the Xbox and for Microsoft as a whole. I believe the Xbox had all these different iterations. The 360 didn't it? Well, it did have. I don't think Sony had any different iterations of the PlayStation, did they?
What do you mean?
PlayStation 3.
They
was
had
only
the
the one
PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 3 Slim.
Slim, yeah.
And
But there was
the
only-
Super Slim. There were 3 consoles.
Super Slim. Okay.
The ultimately anorexic is what we called it last week, which I do like the design of. It doesn't look like the previous 2, because the previous 2 were just, you had the big one and then you had a thinner version, but the disc drive looks like it's in a different place on the anorexic, so I do like that. If I was ever to get a PlayStation 3, I'd be getting the anorexic, and I'm not going to stop calling it that.
Well, just to let you know, the Xbox 360 Core was discontinued on, this last fact, discontinued on 27th October 2007, and the Xbox 360 was discontinued on August 28th, 2009, leaving only the Xbox S and the Xbox Elite.
Mm.
And the Xbox Elite was then cut in on June 19th, 2010.
So it's just the S you can get now, yeah?
Yep, it's only the S and the E.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening to us, which seems like we're slating the Xbox, but we love it. Please take that away from it. Yeah.
It's a good.
Yeah.
It's our preferred console. It's my favourite console of this
Yeah,
generation.
So thank you for listening.
So when are we doing the podcast on the original Xbox?
That will be out Thursday, so day before launch. So 2 days from now, that will be out. Yes. Yes, stick around from that. Stick around to listen to that. And if you haven't listened to our PlayStation Week stuff, go listen to that. It was last week. There's also a top 10 by Akitius, and don't be put off by the fact that he does his top 10 in the wrong order. All the top 10s out this week will be done in the correct order.
Probably.
Yeah.
Did you start with 1?
Yes, he started with 1.
Ah.
So, like, subscribe, whatnot, don't steal any phrases from other people? Or was it Matt who stole it from that other person?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway.
Thank you for watching. And listening.
Out. Whoop.
That was a weird noise. I might cut that out.